Hey guys, so day 2 of losing 10 pounds in 3 weeks. Results from yesterday. Yesterday I talked a lot about the exercise that I'm doing for this challenge. Today's going to be about the diet part, nutrition. The videos are in a playlist down below, but let me show you the tail end of the last video so we can pick up where we left off. It took me 45 minutes or about an hour in the morning to plan this diet out to be as nutritionally complete as it is, even though I'm using healthy food. Colloquially, whole food, nutrient-dense food, high volume food. But also note it's nothing weird. Like there's no chia seeds in here, there's no quinoa. And look at the nutrition. Look at that fiber. See, saturated fat under the limit. And now look at all the vitamins. See how all the vitamins are over the RDA for me? And this is the reason why for this challenge I'm not that concerned about being under resting metabolic rate levels of calories. See, it's all hitting everything. See how it's all hitting everything? But that would be impossible to do just logging as I ate. That all had to get figured out ahead of time. All right, that was day 1. Tomorrow I'll go more in-depth about nutrition. So let's go more in-depth about nutrition. And let me start off by saying MacroFactor did me dirty. MacroFactor is a great diet tracking app, nutrition app. It's the app I'm using for this challenge. But look at this right here. See where it's giving me my macronutrient breakdown? I discovered something surprising yesterday. This is not a balanced diet. Now I just showed you the video where I hit all of these nutrition targets, vitamins, minerals, and everything. So why am I saying that that is not a balanced diet nevertheless, despite that? Well, that's largely what this video is going to be about. You see, we have a very unsophisticated notion of what a balanced diet means. And by we, I mean all of us. Most of us, our concept of what constitutes a balanced diet is based on little fragments of information, a lot of it hearsay, a lot of it misinformation, a lot of it folklore. And part of the reason why we get into so much trouble when we diet or when we just try to live our lives is from the fact that often we say we know what a balanced diet is and we think we're eating a balanced diet when we don't, and we don't know what it is. It becomes a great example of the old saying that a little bit of knowledge is dangerous. A balanced diet is really actually a pretty complex thing. And the fundamental point of this whole challenge, rapid weight loss. If you're going to manipulate your diet in a way that you're going to drop weight at any kind of rate above 1% of your body weight, total body weight per week, you had better have a very sophisticated understanding of what constitutes a balanced diet, or else you're going to hurt yourself. And it's the fact that this challenge is trying to lose 1.5% of my body weight per week, and how excessive that is. That's why I actually totally forgive MacroFactor for this. You see how I went over on carbohydrates here? The fact that my day's eating was as nutritionally complete as I showed you in the video, nevertheless resulted in overeating carbohydrates from what MacroFactor suggested. That's no mistake, that's no accident. Because fact is, a balanced diet is defined by the macronutrient breakdown, in accordance with the accepted macronutrient distribution range of 10 to 35% of calories coming from protein, 20 to 35% of calories coming from fat, and 45 to 65% of calories coming from carbohydrates. This is not a balanced diet. This is in fact a little bit of a low-carb diet. That's in fact even a little bit too high on protein according to the accepted macronutrient distribution range, which defines a balanced diet. Now before we go any further, let's see what this is in real life. Let's see what I ate yesterday and how that stacks up nutritionally. All right, here's my before going on my exercise, 2 cups of coffee and whole milk. Breakfast, overnight oats with trail mix and apple and a glass of skim milk. Like most of my meals, lunch was in accordance with the composition of a balanced diet. About half the volume of food, either fruits or vegetables, a quarter some kind of complex starch, and a quarter some kind of protein, lean protein. See here, fruit and yogurt. See here in the protein slot, hard-boiled eggs and more skim milk. And see here, that's a slice of whole wheat bread. I happen to make that myself, but I logged it as conventional store-bought bread. And that spread on there is Marmite. You ever hear of Marmite and Vegemite? Did you ever hear the Men at Work song, Man from Down Under? He just smiled and gave me a Vegemite sandwich. That's that stuff. That'll be important later. But see here now how that's only just 1 slice of bread. That's actually a little shy, isn't it? It's a little short. A little bit less than that 25%. A little bit less than this proportion of starchy food I should be having. And likewise here for dinner, that's vegetables and chicken, just a little bit of mashed potatoes holding it together. Mashed potatoes are the starch, and also there's some starchy vegetables in there, corn, which added up to more than the recommendation, but less than what's appropriate for a balanced diet. Nevertheless, let's look how that stacked up nutritionally, for nutritional completeness. One of the great things that Macrofactor lets you do is show the top contributors for each nutrient. And so you'll see here, this is important for what I'm going to talk about. Now you see, nutritionally, I still have a complete diet. See, I'm still hitting, oh, look at that Marmite, that's important. See, there's Marmite again. Look at that, B vitamins. See, hitting all the B vitamins. Folate, that's big in the news recently, isn't it? Vitamin A. Vitamin C, very important. Vitamin D, I don't rely on sun for vitamin D. I'm getting it nutritionally. See, there's vitamin E, people are often short in that. Calcium, very important for your bones, as we all know. Copper, very difficult to get. Iron, everybody knows iron. Magnesium, manganese. Magnesium is also pretty important. It's a low-key one. Potassium, incredibly important. Potassium balances out salt. You need to have enough potassium. All the way down even to choline. So you might say, if it's nutritionally complete, why do I care? Well, remember the part in the last video where I said it took me like an hour to fiddle around with the numbers and put that all together so it would be as nutritionally complete as that? Well, part of the whole point of the accepted macronutrient distribution range, the AMDR, that defines what a balanced diet actually is so you don't have to do that. It's so you don't have to fiddle with every little gram of fiber and every little microgram of vitamin B1. It's so you can, just by looking at the macronutrient profile of your diet, be assured that you're getting everything without having to track everything. But the AMDR is based on two pretty big assumptions. One is that you're reasonably active and eating enough to support that level of activity, which is to say you're not trying to lose more than 1% of your total body weight per week. And the other assumption it works on is that you're eating what's colloquially termed whole food. But basically what that means, whole food, basically what that means is food that has not had a lot of the nutrition stripped out of it. Butter, for example, is milk that has most of the rest of the milk and milk nutrition stripped out of it, leaving only the milk fat. Olive oil, most of the nutrition in olives stripped out of it, just leaving the fat, the oils of the olive. And table sugar and corn syrup. Corn syrup is corn, table sugar is sugar cane that's had all of the nutrition stripped out of it, leaving just the simple carbohydrates. That's why a balanced diet also has limits on those types of things, because it's assuming most of what you're eating isn't that. It's assuming most of what you're eating is nutritionally complete, a whole food. Because whole categories of food tend to be strong in one macronutrient and have other nutritional properties that are distinct from other foods that are strong in a different macronutrient. If you're eating whole foods and you're eating enough food, you can be reasonably certain that if the macronutrients you're eating are within certain ranges, the micronutrients will be as well. If you're eating enough complex carbohydrates from whole foods, you're not just eating foods that also have the micronutrients that those types of foods give you. You're also, by default, going to be getting a lot of fiber without eating too much energy. And just focusing on that one point, maybe, I've clarified that whole thing I said in the beginning where a little bit of knowledge is dangerous. How many times have you heard, if you want to lose weight, cut out all your carbohydrates? Carbohydrates are an energy source, a source of calories, but complex carbohydrates are also a source of a lot of other things you need. And you get into a baby out with the bathwater problem. And that's why if you think, oh, I eat healthy, I eat a balanced diet, I eat high protein, low carb, no, you don't eat a balanced diet. And in fact, if you're not exceptionally careful about how you're organizing your diet, you're not spending an hour every day making sure that is nutritionally complete despite what you're doing. It's almost a guarantee you're making yourself malnourished doing that. So I'm not going to do that. So what did I do instead? I customized my own macronutrient targets to be in line with a balanced diet. I went higher protein because I am dieting. Protein being the one macronutrient that's primarily not about energy at all. It's building material that you need. The low range on protein in the AMDR is because it's assuming you're eating a lot. By making that change, now I just have to hit my macro targets underneath my calorie target. By getting within that self-defined sweet spot, I will have a nutritionally complete and balanced diet. Tomorrow we'll see if that makes my life easier.